Here's how to get your first date by respectfully approaching women from an introverted guy who started going on multiple dates per week and now runs a community teaching guys how to do the exact same thing. So I want to start this off by letting you know that every time you approach a girl, your confidence level literally goes up by like 5% with the next girl that you approach. So many guys are worried about having it all figured out on the very first approach that they ever do. And honestly, that level of perfectionism is what keeps so many guys from never doing it in the first place. Think of it this way, it's not about the first girl that you approach, it's about the 5th, the 10th, the 20th, the 100th. This is a lifelong skill that you're developing and you don't have to get it all right the very first time. The truth about approaching women. I want to address this because there's so many misconceptions about it. There's so much advice on YouTube, and honestly, I think most of the advice is pretty trash. There isn't really any advice on how to just respectfully, authentically be yourself and approach women. So I'm gonna touch on that real quick before I start actually giving you all the, here's what to say type of advice. So if you're a beginner and you've never actually approached a girl ever before, it seems complicated. It seems like you need riz and all that stuff, but it's actually not that complicated once you get the hang of it. If you're somebody who's never walked up to a girl spontaneously, it seems like it's so complicated. There's a lot of YouTubers that make it seem more complicated than it actually is. But honestly, it's quite simple and easy. You don't need riz, you don't need to be special, you don't need to be perfect. You could totally get a very, very fun dating life and get your dream girl, your dream relationship, whatever you want, by being your honest, authentic self, just being like a more confident version of yourself. And I'm gonna help you get there in this video. Confidence in this is just knowing what to expect, okay? It's not like you wake up one day and you're just confident, okay? You're not gonna read a bunch of books and then become confident in this. You're not gonna watch a ton of self-improvement content and just all of a sudden become confident. Confidence in general, in my opinion, is knowing what to expect in a certain situation. So the reason I'm so confident when I approach women is because I simply, over time, understand what to expect. I know that there's a certain spectrum of where the conversation can go, basically. Even if it goes badly, I know what to expect. I know what questions to ask, okay, because I've done this over time. So again, don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about being the most confident guy ever with your, very first approaches, or even a year from now, if you're still nervous, it's totally fine. Being nervous is healthy. It means that you care about what you're doing. Again, like I said, every time you approach a girl, you become like 5% more confident with the next girl that you approach. So just keep that in mind. I want to address this. Lots of guys aren't even sure if they're allowed to do it, okay? You're 100% allowed to do it. For me, I grew up in the era of Me Too and cancel culture and just, going on Twitter and Instagram and seeing so many angry feminists complain about how awful men are and how like some guy was manspreading on the train, and just overall as a young man, it made me feel like women didn't want me. So you combine that with just like overall insecurity and anxiety, and I never approached women. And into my early mid-20s, I was still afraid of approaching women because I thought, like, what if women don't want to be approached? What if I'm not allowed to do it? You're totally allowed to do it. There's certain areas that are better than others, and I'm not really going to get into that in this video, but I will show you some examples of places where you could totally approach women and it's not a big deal at all. Don't worry about the stuff you see online from, angry feminists. And I also don't want to be the guy who's like opposite of an angry feminist. I don't want to be this guy who's like an Andrew Tate, like, let's just disrespect women or something. That's not who I am whatsoever. I just do want to let you know that, the opinions that you see online don't really reflect reality when it comes to approaching women, as long as you do it respectfully. Because you see videos online of like a guy approaching a girl at the gym and then it goes viral and it's like, the girl freaks out or something. That stuff's not really real. I'm not going to lie. I've never experienced it. I've coached guys as well, one-on-one and in group settings as well in my community, and they've never experienced any sort of, cancellation or anything, like any girl freaking out at them. The worst it's going to get typically is a girl just gets like slightly uncomfortable and she just says no or something, and that's totally it. And even that doesn't really happen that often, honestly. So don't worry about this. You're totally allowed to approach a girl as long as you do it respectfully, and I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video. Girls actually really like being approached, okay? There are some girls, like I mentioned, that will freak out, but it's not your fault, okay? If a girl freaks out getting approached, like she kind of panics and, starts stuttering and says like, no, like, no, whatever, that's usually the worst it's going to get, and it has happened to me a couple times, like a handful of times. Typically, it's just because that's who she is. That's how she was brought up. It has nothing to do with you. It just has to do with her background. Maybe she's had traumatizing experiences with men. It has nothing to do with you, man. So don't worry about it. What you'll experience when you start approaching women yourself is a full spectrum of reactions, okay? Again, as long as you're being respectful, and I'm gonna teach you how to do that in this video, so stay tuned. I've literally had girls tell me during our interaction, like, this is really cool that you did this. Like, guys don't really approach girls anymore. Like, I've had multiple girls tell me that. Overall, it's like a refreshing feeling for so many people, this kind of like spontaneous, magical human interaction, because it takes bravery, it takes courage from guys to do this. And lots of guys don't do this, but you're here, you're watching this because you want to learn how to do it. And I'm so excited for you because truly, like, approaching women changed my life in so many ways. It wasn't just the dating stuff, but also just in so many ways, like with my core confidence as a man. I'm really excited for you, and honestly, girls do really like being approached. So, all right, so let's get to the opening line now. So when you walk up to a girl, you want to make sure that you make eye contact with her pretty much immediately. I'm gonna be totally honest, this might sound harsh, but girls will not like you if you can't make eye contact. It's the immediate primary indicator of if you're confident or not. You see so much stuff online about body language, and honestly, I think most of it is pretty garbage, and you don't have to listen to most of it, like the way your legs are positioned, all that bullshit. It's way too overcomplicated. The only thing with body language that I actually think is important is your eye contact. Like, if you walk up to a girl and you're timid about it, and you're like, hey, excuse me, like, hi, like, you're not even really making eye contact with her, she's immediately gonna be like, all right, this guy's not confident. This guy, like, why would I date this guy? However, I don't want to scare you from like doing it at all, because honestly, like, you might be a guy, and who right now is afraid of making eye contact with an attractive girl. And bro, it's totally fine if you are. But I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm always gonna be honest with you. You do need to develop that confidence of making eye contact with a woman that you're attracted to, because you're not really gonna have a fun dating life if you can't make eye contact, and you'll honestly have a tough time like getting a girlfriend in general. So being able to make eye contact is very important. If you can't make eye contact right now, if you find that difficult, then I honestly just recommend going on walks daily, and instead of walking with your head down, walk with your head up, and just make eye contact with the people that walk by you, give them a smile or something. When you order at cafes or restaurants, like, make sure you make good eye contact with the waiter or whoever you're ordering from, like at a Starbucks or something. If you are uncomfortable making eye contact, it's really like the first thing that you need to figure out before you even start, walking up to women and trying to, get dates from approaching, because yeah, you're not even gonna have a chance, honestly, if you can't even make eye contact with a girl. Eye contact in general is pretty relaxing once you get the hang of it. I used to be very afraid of eye contact as well when I was like in high school. Over time, I just sort of got better and better at feeling relaxed with eye contact. It feels very vulnerable. It feels, like you're kind of revealing who you are if you hold deep eye contact with somebody. And if you're not used to doing that, then it might feel a bit uncomfortable. But try to embrace that feeling more. It honestly becomes pretty relaxing to sort of relax into the eye contact, and it's gonna feel pretty good, and you're gonna feel pretty confident as well. So moving on, don't overcomplicate what you say too much. You don't have to be all alpha. Just say something like, hey, excuse me, this is random. I was over there, I saw you, I thought you were cute, I wanted to come say hi. Here's a couple examples. Excuse me. Hi, this is random. I was just walking by. I'm about to meet a friend, but you look very cute. I wanted to say what's up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi,
I'm Jacob.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm
You're
good.
welcome to sit.
Oh, sure, yeah. Excuse me. How's it going, guys? What's up? I just noticed you guys across the street. I thought you were really cute. Y'all both look lovely, but yeah, I thought you were really cute. Wanted to say hi. Yeah. What's up?
What's your name?
Jacob. I have beef with like most of the advice that I see on YouTube with all this, because so many guys, for some reason, paint this picture that like you have to be all alpha to just get a girlfriend or just go on a date or something. You don't have to be like some fuckboy wannabe red pill guy. You don't need to disrespect women. You don't need to, walk up to a girl with some like fancy opening line where you're like disrespecting her. But it's like all that stuff just overcomplicates things so much for guys. It pisses me off, honestly. And that's exactly who I don't want to become. I don't want to be a guy who teaches men how to be like some fake version of themselves. Just be honest. Be like, hey, I was over there. I saw you. I thought you were gorgeous. I wanted to come say hi. Give her a compliment. Say, hey, I think you're really cute. It is very important to say that you think she's cute. Otherwise, she's not really going to know why you're talking to her. Like, you could imagine, like, if you were walking on the street and some guy walked up to you and he was like, hey, what's up? I wanted to come say hi to you. You're going to be kind of nervous. You're going to be like, who is this guy? Why is he talking to me? Is he like a sales guy? Is he like a homeless guy, like a crazy person? Like who is this person, right? You do need to state the reason, as to why you're walking up to her. And your reason is that you think she's cute. A big worry that a lot of guys have is like, I don't have a reason to walk up to a girl, so like why would I do it, right? Like they think that they need a reason to approach a girl, like in the movies where you bump into her and you're like holding food or whatever, and you're like, oh my God, excuse me, I'm so sorry. And you guys just start talking magically. That doesn't happen in real life, bro. Like that does not happen. The truth is that your reason is that you think she's cute. That is the reason. That's a good enough reason to walk up to a girl, man. It might not feel like it, but it 100% is. You don't need to come up with some excuse. You don't need to be fake and be like, hey, like I saw your outfit and I wanted to ask you where you got it. And then it's like that is actually not a good enough reason to stop somebody on the street. You know what I mean? Like have a conversation with them. But you as a man walking up to a woman and being like, hey, I thought you were cute and I wanted to come say hi. Believe it or not, that's like the best reason that you could have to walk up to a girl, because it's straight to the point. She's not going to be wondering like what your intentions are, because she immediately knows your intentions. If you walked up to a girl and you were like, hey, I like your shoes, I wanted to ask you where you got them, and then you just kind of linger in the conversation, she's going to be like, why is this guy talking to me? Like he obviously thinks I'm cute, but he's not saying it. That's kind of weird. Like, what's up? This guy's not really that confident in himself. But you walking up to her, being confident, being upfront about your intentions, like, hey, I thought you were cute, I want to come say what's up. That's going to be sexy. It's going to be spontaneous. It's going to make her feel good. It shows her that you're a confident guy. Like that is where you need to lean into instead of like shying away from that. So moving into the conversation itself. So I always just start the conversation by asking, what are you up to? This is just a natural way to keep the conversation going, or really just to like start the conversation after you've already told her that you think she's cute and you have that initial exchange. What are you up to? You kind of find out more about who she is, right? Like she's living her own life when you walked up to her. For you, it's a big deal. For you, it's like, I'm going to walk up to this girl and I'm going to, it's this whole big thing. For her, she's doing her own thing. She didn't even realize you existed until you walked up to her like, 10 seconds ago. So asking what she's up to just gets an idea of, literally what is she doing in that moment? Like, is she shopping? Is she about to go meet a friend? Is she just, going on a walk by herself? Whatever it is, it's just a natural way to keep the conversation moving. Asking what are you up to is also kind of intimate if you think about it. Like, what are you up to is something that you would ask a friend of yours. You know what I mean? Like somebody that you already knew. Like you would call a friend up and be like, hey, what are you up to right now? And that's exactly the type of energy that you want to create in a conversation like this, because it's super spontaneous. You don't know her. She doesn't know you. So creating that feeling like, you're a friendly guy, you're already friends, like, it's chill talking to you. She could open up to you. She could like talk to you, right? That's the type of energy that you're trying to create. So asking what are you up to is perfect. It also just opens up a ton of opportunities to, keep the conversation going, right? She might talk about how she's going to the gym and, you'll be able to talk about that. She'll say maybe that she's going to, go buy groceries or something. So then you could talk about that. Like if she's a good cook, like what does she like to cook? You could talk about, what you like to cook. It just keeps the conversation going, and it's about something that is, in the moment and something that, she's interested in because she's about to do it. If you said, hey, I thought you were cute, I wanted to come say hi, and then immediately went to, so where do you work? Like that's very abrupt and very out of nowhere, and it's not really on her mind at all. Saying something kind of open in general, like what are you up to, just keeps the conversation moving and allows the conversation to go in a bunch of different directions. So moving on to the fact that it's really just basic small talk and it only has to last like 2 minutes. A lot of guys think that they need to like have this full, conversation where they escalate with a girl and they like seduce a girl, in the middle of the sidewalk or something. It's really not that complicated. It's literally just basic small talk, asking very simple questions, getting to know her. And it literally only has to be like 2 minutes. I've had conversations that lasted like 60 seconds even, maybe like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And it was enough to like kind of pique the girl's interest, establish that I was a confident, chill dude. And then, the conversation would end with me getting the girl's number. And that's exactly what's going to happen to you as well. It's literally just small talk, like 2 minutes of small talk. And I know it might sound scary right now, but bro, 2 minutes, like anybody can do 2 minutes, even you. I fucking know that you can do 2 minutes of small talk.
Oh, okay. So you have kids? Wait, niños?
No,
Okay.
I take care
from the kids
au
of a
pair.
family. Yeah, au pair.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, cool. So you're just staying here for
For a year.
For a year. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And do you like it so far?
Yeah, I like it. But Spain is better.
Spain is better?
Yeah.
Spain is better. I've been to Barcelona and Madrid. It's beautiful, yeah. Where are you from?
From Barcelona.
Barcelona?
Yeah.
Dang. So you just wanted to come to the States to explore? I also want to address this common misconception that guys have, which is that you have to escalate in these conversations. Like you have to be flirty, you have to escalate, you have to like seduce her or something. Again, the conversation is just like small talk, okay? Here's the thing, right? And I'm about to fucking blow your mind. By starting the conversation by saying something like, hey, I think you're cute, I wanted to come say hi, you have already escalated it. Because she immediately knows your intentions, okay? There's no risk of like being in the friend zone with a girl if you establish that you think she's cute, okay? You don't need to escalate. You've already escalated. A lot of guys think that they need to start off by like saying something very casual, like, hey, I like your jacket, you know, and then just sort of keep talking, kind of weave in some flirty comments and then like end it with her being like head over heels in love with him. He asks her for her number. It's amazing. It's like, bro, you don't need to do any of that. It really is as simple as you just being upfront with your intentions immediately by being like, hey, I think you're cute. You've already escalated it by saying that you think she's cute, okay? Another big question that guys have is how do you make it less of an interview and more of a conversation? The answer to this will blow your mind, and it's so simple. What I'm about to tell you, it's so fucking simple, but it's really hard to realize it in the moment, okay? How do you make it less of an interview and more of a conversation? Just talk about yourself, bro. Talk about yourself too. Isn't that? All right. It's just so funny because I used to be very nervous. I used to be very shy. And I was also worrying a lot. Like, how do I make it less interviewing? Because a lot of my early conversations and like my approaches, what I mean, they would kind of just be these like interview style conversations. Like I would just keep asking her questions about what she was doing. And yeah, it's kind of boring. She's like, cool. Like this guy just asks me questions about my life and it doesn't really create any connection really. Eventually I realized like, dude, you just have to talk about yourself. A lot of shy introverted guys have this idea that, you know, when you approach a woman, it's all about her. It's just 100% about her. But it's like, how do you form a connection with her if she doesn't really even know who you are? You know what I mean? And the reality is some girls will ask you questions about yourself and it's kind of easy. You can kind of respond to them and, you know, there's a conversation that happens out of that. But a lot of times you'll be talking to a girl and she's not really asking you questions. She's kind of just answering whatever you're asking her. So talking about yourself is how you form a connection and make it less of an interview and more of a fun conversation, more of a fun interaction where you could see maybe there's actually something here. Here's an example of what I mean. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, what are you reading? I don't want to keep you from.
Oh, that's fine. It's my sister told me to. It's like the new chapter.
Okay, red flag.
No, it's it's very cringy. I'm like, I need a Kindle so no one can see.
I got a Kindle recently. It's actually the best purchase I made. It was like $90. And I've been reading more than I've ever read in my life because it's just so easy.
See, that's what I was like. I feel like I'd read more if I didn't carry.
No, literally, yeah. It's also like at night. Like I would try to read at night with a book, but then it's like you have to put like a flashlight, like your phone on your chest, and it's just like so uncomfortable. But now it's the Kindle. It's fucking easy. So notice right there, I just started talking about myself. A lot of guys that aren't experienced, they will just keep asking the girl questions in this scenario. They'll just keep asking like, oh, like what are your favorite books? Like what do you like to read? Like how many books have you read? Like they'll just keep asking these questions that basically kill the conversation. But instead, I just started talking about myself. And I didn't pre-plan this. I didn't, you know, have this scripted out. I just literally was like, cool, like I'm gonna talk about my experience with reading and my Kindle and how much I love it. And yeah, here we go, you know? So it's really just as simple as that. Just talk about yourself more. So yeah, just try that. It's really that simple. So moving down to getting her number, okay? I would always say something like, I'd love to grab coffee if you're down. I kind of just wrap up the conversation once it feels like it's time to wrap it up. You definitely want it to be at least like a minute, maybe 2-3 minutes. I've had conversations go even longer, like, 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. But ideally, honestly, dude, like 3 to 5 minutes is perfect. Like maybe even 2 minutes, 2 to 3 to 4 minutes or whatever in that range. You can kind of start wrapping up the conversation whenever you just run out of things to say, honestly. It's more of a feeling. It's like, all right, cool. Like we kind of connected a bit here. I think I could probably end the conversation now. So the way I would do that is just by saying something like, cool, like I'm gonna head out, but I'd love to grab coffee sometime if you're down.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, I'd love to grab your number and
yeah,
grab coffee or
That
something.
would be awesome.
Yeah.
How long are you in town?
I am in town for, I don't know, probably a few more weeks or something. Yeah. I'll leave y'all to it. I'd love to grab your number or something. We could hang out and get a coffee or something. Are you in the DC area? Or?
I am. Yeah.
Don't literally ask for her number. Don't be like, hey, can I have your number? That comes off as like a bit juvenile, a little bit, childish, honestly. But by saying something like, I'd love to grab coffee sometime if you're down, it kind of implies already that you are, you need to exchange numbers, obviously, like if you're going to go on a date. Propose the date. Don't ask for her number or ask for her Snapchat or Instagram or whatever. Just propose the date and see how she reacts. I typically just say, I love to grab coffee sometime if you're down. And that kind of initiates the number exchange thing. You can just get her number, or you could text yourself from her phone, or you could just like give her your number. It doesn't really matter. There isn't really like some rule where it's like you need to get her number and like because that's like the most alpha thing. It doesn't fucking matter, honestly. You can get her number, you can text yourself, you can give her your whatever, you know what I mean? Don't worry too much about like the dynamics, whatever. Also, bro, get her number, don't get her Instagram or her Snapchat. You're not in middle school. Instagram and Snapchat, it's gonna be harder to get in contact with her, I'm not gonna lie. Because Instagram, she has maybe 1,000 followers, maybe like, some girls have like 10,000 followers. Every time a girl posts a story, she gets like 50 DMs from all of her best friends being like, oh my God, queen, like, heart eye emojis, fire emojis. Like maybe there's other guys in her DMs that are like thirsty and, DMing her. If that's where you're going to be communicating with her mainly, like through her DMs, it's just going to be so fucking annoying. You're going to constantly be getting like pushed down with all of the new messages that she gets all the time. And with getting her phone number, bro, you are being masculine. You are being intentional about this whole interaction. You're basically telling her like, no, I want your phone number. I don't want your Instagram so I could just be like another follower of yours. I want your phone number. Like I want to actually see you again. Don't actually say that, but that's what it implies. You know what I mean? Sometimes there is pushback and a girl will be like, oh, you don't want to just do Instagram instead? Dude, the girls don't really care that much, honestly. I always just say like, I don't really use Instagram that much anyway, so it'll be hard to like connect on that. And they immediately just switch to like, okay, cool, I'll just, do phone number then. It's not that big of a deal. Phone numbers aren't, that personal. I've never run into a girl that is like unwilling to give out her phone number, as long as we have like a good conversation and she's like, if she's interested in seeing you again, like actually, she will give you her phone number, okay? And again, Snapchat, bro, I don't know. I don't have a Snapchat. I'm in my mid-20s. I know that there are guys that have their Snapchats, in their 20s and 30s. If you do, it's not a big deal. Fine, do you. But I wouldn't communicate with women that I meet on Instagram or Snapchat because, again, it's more of a social media. That's a different thing. I'm trying to see this girl again. Get her phone number, okay? If you guys like this sort of stuff and you want to actually start approaching women respectfully and then going on dates with those women, check out Natural Confidence Lab. It's a community where I keep you accountable. I teach you, I guide you. I will literally hold your hand, not literally, but I will be there every step of the way with you. You could ask me questions. There's group calls, there's course content, I think like 5-6 hours of course content that I put in there. I also raise the price every 10 members to reflect the added value of the community. So if you want to lock in your price right now, then go ahead, check it out. Also, if you could like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun YouTube stuff, I'd really appreciate it. Kind of boosts me in the algorithm a little bit. And honestly, I really appreciate anybody who sticks around until the very end of the video. You're fucking awesome, man. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.